So, this is the deck I was just using for season 30 to climb to Master 1. So, here it is. I've called it Sky Striker Hand Drops because I've been trying like a really heavy spell version where I wasn't playing any hand drops or anything like that, and this list is playing what I think are the most useful ones for what I want to accomplish. So I'm actually going to talk over those real quick first, because they're basically the hand traps that I think are worthwhile to play in this deck. Firstly, and most intuitively, Maxi, of course. Very powerful. Answers like most decks that aren't exactly flu, but that deck usually answers itself anyways. Nibiru, this is just a card that answers many different cards at once, like, well, they have a huge board. Pretty relevant. Omnis aren't super common. Usually it can be played through to some extent, but the idea is between your all the rest of your interaction and stuff that it's going to be something on top of that, and you are much more likely now with the new striker support to be able to not get stuck on a Nibiru token as likely as you would have been before. And then I'm playing one Imperm, and this is because I think the hand trap is fine, and I think it's the most relevant thing to set off of Thrust if you're going first and you get hit with a hand trap. Being able to set an Imperm can make a huge difference, as opposed to having to set a normal spell and just like praying you don't die. Alright, so let's go over the deck list real quick. We're playing 3 Cyanos. This is actually what we're trying to draw when we go first. We want to draw Cyanos in particular. It's a very powerful card for this list, so usually you'll normal summon Cyanos, you're going to special summon Rose, and then you're going to grab Camellia from special summon Camellia from that point. Then you'll use Camellia's effect. With that, you'll be able to pitch. You'll usually be able to base it on what's on your hand, but ideally you're going to be sending an engage. And depending on your hand, you're either going to set yourself up for double engage, or you're going to be setting yourself up with like a multi-roll and Widow Anchor, and then if you can at least, and then move on from there. Usually you'd just be going for a Widow Anchor, obviously depends on if you drew to engage or not, and then in phase search like linkage or something most likely. But Cyanos is just really powerful, enables you to go into Camellia. Camellia lets you choose like different inboard possibilities. Camellia's a great card, Cyanos is a great card. We already went through hand traps. We're playing 2 Ray because, like I said before, our goal is to summon Cyanos. If Cyanos is pitching a spell to summon itself, it's not nearly as good. We want our cards to be really efficient for us, and if this is needing to discard a spell, that's not going to be very efficient, which is sometimes the spell pitch is necessary, but usually your goal is for it to not be. So we're just on 2 Ray because of that. We're on a Rose because you need it for Cyanos, and you can grab her from the banished zone if need be. Good for her to be here. Rhoda, just extra copy of Ray. I don't really need 3. I found wasn't like bricking or anything. I'm not drawing Ray very frequently. Where I think the other cards we're playing are worth having in this deck list where they are. 3 Engage, because obviously he's engaged, very powerful. 1 Afterburners. This is like, I think if the Striker deck was better, you probably don't play this, but it's so powerful for board breaking that I think it's just worth playing. I could be wrong. I really like this card. But this is like the one card in your deck you don't want to draw going first. And I just think it's so good going second, and that you have the capacity to not worry about drawing it too much, that I think it's fine. was pretty happy to have it in the deck. It lets you answer back row in a way you wouldn't be able to otherwise, and I think that's just worthwhile. This is just a very powerful card that like can hit 2 cards on the field. Thrust can get you, if you're going first, this can grab you infinite impermanence. If you're going second, it's going to grab you engage every time, basically. You'll notice we're not playing a suite of targets for thrust. This is here to get engaged specifically, because we want to go first with this list. That's the goal. We're playing 1 multi-role. Once again, we're going first. I can't really afford to be playing cards I don't want to draw in multiples generally that aren't really powerful. And multi-role is kind of awkward, long game win con sort of thing, which is good. But like I said, we're already on afterburners, and multi-role is also very good. But it's also a little more awkward to do like Shizuku Shuffle stuff when we're kind of actually aiming to end on Camellia plus Shizuku in this deck particular. Sometimes, and so having multiple multi-role can make that a little iffy. But I could see playing this at 2. But like, I've already cut a Ray, which is kind of weird. Enemy Controller, this is one of the cards that helps us justify playing Cyanos. So we can like normal summon, so this tributes a monster we control, which, you know, lets you get rid of a monster on your side of the field temporarily if you need to activate a Widow Anchor or Shark Cannon or something. Or if you're going second, it's just a really powerful tool to be able to like normal summon Cyanos. They try to stop it, and then you econ take something from them. Just a really good card. Call by the Grave, hit Ash, hit Maxi. Maxi in particular is a lot stronger in this deck. That's why I'm playing Ash in this deck list. I don't think Ash hits the power level or type of card this deck really wants. But I do think when we're aiming to draw and play Cyanos in particular, that hedging against Maxi is just kind of worth it. Yeah, 3 Widow Anchor, of course. That's one of our best interruptions. Got a Shark Cannon. Cleaning up our opponent's graveyard can be useful, and we can loop that. And then Forbidden Droplet. This is the one we really want to draw, so that you'll have Camellia and Shizuku, and then you can Droplet send the Shizuku or the Camellia if you need to get rid of the monster on board, like it's pure cash or something. Just really good. Linkage helps dodge impermeffects and stuff. Locks you into Striker Ace monsters from the extra deck, but that's 100% worth it. And then Imperm is a hand trap / thrust target. And then we go into the extra deck. For this one, I'm playing Zeus. I was running into Xyz enough where I thought it was worth it to play the Widow Anchor, take it, make Zeus. We're on Linkuriboh, and the reason we're on Linkuriboh is sometimes your opponent imperms your Cyanos. Originally, I was not on a card for this, but importantly, this locks you into machines, but only if the effect resolves. So if your opponent ashes or imperms or otherwise negates Cyanos, being able to make Linkuriboh and then like make do a linkage play or activate engage or otherwise actually play the game is you need a Linkuriboh there. You need a Link 1 that Cyanos can go into if it gets negated, so you don't get like really stuck on it. This one in particular allows you to have a free way to ensure a future Cyanos resolves, which I have had come up where they try to imperm it, and then I just do Linkuriboh, which sets up, it's a dark, it still sets up like Azalea or Zeke or whatever. So it's just pretty useful to have. It even sets up Engage 0, which is nice. Or could be. I've never actually had that come up to like clear a field. Yeah, Linkuriboh, you need a Link 1 that Cyanos can go into, and I think Linkuriboh is the best one by far. So, that's what we're on. We're on 3 Kagari. Oh, I pulled this since. Yeah, let's pretend this was what I played the entire time. I've just pulled the 3rd Altar Kagari. Very pleased about that. So we have 3 Kagari. This one's the one that comes up the most. You want to loop engage as much as possible. Pretty straightforward. Shizuku searching during end phase, usually grabbing either an engage or a Widow Anchor. Sometimes you're searching for Shark Cannon if you already know what deck you're against. Hayate's just graveyard setup, kinda stops them from killing you. This is a flex spot, feel free to put whatever you want here, same with Zeus. But I found Zeus coming up more frequently than, say, Access Code, for example. Kinda is definitely cuttable, kinda was just not coming up. But sometimes, on rare occasions, she does. I think in certain metas she comes up more frequently than others. Like, Math Mech, for example, being able to kinda the Access Code Talker was good, but the problem is that, like, Engage 0 also kinda does that. So I think kinda just has, like, diminishing returns from what it used to be in terms of, like, stopping you from getting OTK'd or anything like that. But I still think it's fine, and it can keep you on striker names when otherwise you wouldn't be able to on occasion. I'm still playing it. It's probably wrong. You should probably be playing a more flexible, more card that comes up more frequently here. But also sometimes you just need a name for, like, linkage OTK plays, and kinda is one of those. Zeke's here. Banish. That's the relevant effect here. Sometimes sending the monster from the field or a card from the field is relevant. Usually not. Azalea's a great pop. Really works with Cyanos, especially because we're playing 3 Cyanos. That can come up a lot. Having 4 spells in graveyard isn't too unlikely. But even if you don't, it's still, like, fine, because you're probably made it off of Cyanos, and you can just summon Rose back by using the graveyard effect of Cyanos. Pretty good. Camellia, this is the Foolish. We're looking to use this first. Ideally, you get handed Camellia back, and you get to Foolish another striker card. Just a really good way to get spells in graveyard. Her second effect, you're kind of looking to end on this very frequently, like I said. Where it allows you to get rid of an important opponent's monster at a specific time if you have something like Drop It or Enemy Controller, or sometimes it'll just be like during combat where she's removed from the field, and sometimes it's just like chain blocking Ray, or Ray's chain blocking her. And frequently opponents that are any good at the game will not give this back to you. They will run into, like, I've had it before where I have like a Shizuku on field, and they'll make sure to run Camellia into it. They're not going to give you Camellia back if they have a choice. Just keep that in mind. It's pretty obvious. You can only special summon it once per turn, and you're not on multiples. They're not going to give you the free link material. You don't particularly care about free link material too much in this deck. That's usually not a problem, though. Little Knight, this one basically banishes a card on the field or the graveyard. Sometimes the second effect can come up. Usually not. It's more likely to come up in this version of deck than other ones, because sometimes having something to send for Verdant Droplet or Econ is pretty relevant. But this is very much required at 1 for being able to banish anything. It's just a really strong ability to have on a card, but you're just locked out of attacking directly, which isn't a big deal. And then we have Engage 0, basically here to make linkage a really sad imperm. And that's it. I found this deck to be pretty good. I have to play it pretty well, and you can't just, with most hands, you can't just, like, blind negate the first thing that runs into you. But when I was playing and paying attention, I found a lot of success with it. But anytime, like, if you're playing this and you're, like, on tilt or something, I found it was, like, really easy to just lose a bunch of games that were actually winnable. But you have to interact very specifically with this deck list and play it pretty correctly, or you're just gonna lose. But yeah, I found this deck pretty good, and going first actually felt like something I could expect to do and not just immediately lose the game, which was really nice. Yeah, that's what I was playing last season. This season I'm doing like a blind second striker list, and I look forward to showing that deck later this month. Anyways, That's it for now. Later.